Today we are going to learn about setting. Setting is where and when the story takes place. When finding the setting of a story, it's important to ask, where does the story happen? And the story can happen anywhere, in the world or in space. It can happen in a make-believe world. It can happen on a train, in houses, outside. The story can take place anywhere. When does the story take place? So you have to find out when the story takes place. Does it take place during the day? At night? What time? Like the hour. Stories can even tell you what hour it is. What month? What season of the year is it? And stories can even take place in the past. It is also important to ask yourself, why is the setting important to the story? Setting can play an important role in a story. It can affect what happens in the story and how it happens. Authors use descriptive words when talking about the setting and the story to help the reader, to help you imagine in your mind where the story takes place and when. And some stories even have more than one setting. So listen to the story today and ask yourself, where does the story happen? And when does the story take place? And why is it important for me to know what the setting is of the story today? Today, you are going to read Clark the Shark, and you are going to listen to the story. As you listen to the story, you need to ask yourself, what is the setting of the story? What clues help me find the setting for Clark the Shark? And why is setting so important? So ask yourself these questions as you listen to Clark the Shark. Now let's take a closer look at the story and see if we can find clues that tell us about the setting. But first, what is the setting of a story? Remember, a setting is where and when the story takes place. So we are going to take a closer look at page 24, 25, and 26. You can use the pictures to help you find the setting, and then we will use the words. In class, when lessons get exciting, Clark wanted to bounce up out of his seat. Instead, he told himself, when teacher's talking, don't go walking. And what do you know? It worked. "Attaboy, Clark," said Mrs. Inky Dink. Clark smiled. Lessons are fun. At lunch, everything smelled so yummy. When Clark wanted to eat and never stop, he told himself, only munch your own lunch. And it worked again. "Way to go, Clark," said his friends. Clark grinned. Lunch is fun. At playtime, Clark told himself, easy does it, that's the way. Then my friends will let me play. And playtime was fun. Once more, Clark loved his life. On the pages that we reread, where is the setting? Where does this story take place? Well, you should have said that it takes place in class. And how do we know that? We have the picture here. That's a clue. It looks like a classroom. And then we actually have the words in class. So what a good reader does is circle those key words. So we are going to circle the key word here, in class. And then where else does the setting take place? Let's take a closer look at page 25. If you've noticed, it says at lunch. There's another keyword, at lunch, and we are going to circle that because it tells us where the story takes place or the setting. Now let's look at page 26. Where does the story take place on page 26? Look for the key word. You should have said at playtime. That is a key word or a clue telling us what the setting is, as well as the picture. You can see that it looks like a playground. So why are the changes to the setting important? So if you notice, the setting changed 3 times. First, he was in class, then he was at lunch, then he went to playtime. So why is it important that the setting changed those 3 times? The changes show how Clark acts in different places around the school and how he used to disrupt things. So let's take another look at a part of the story that shows us the setting and why it's so important. But then a shadow fell across the playground, a ginormous shadow with tentacles galore. "It's a new kid and he looks scary," cried Joey Mackerel. "Swim for your lives!" The squid squashed the slide and it snapped off the swings. "Oops, my bad," said the new kid. "Wait," said Clark. "He just wants to play. Let's find a way." And he swam at the new kid with all his might. Clark played harder than he ever had before. Upsy-downsy and spin-a-majig. Why, he even made up a new game. Tell-wompa-lumpus. "Wow, that was fun," said the new kid breathlessly, and he settled down. "If you want to come to school, you've got to stay cool," said Clark. After listening to me reread those pages, where at school does this part of the story take place? Remember, you're looking for clue words and you're looking at the pictures to help you. Well, you should have said that this part of the story takes place on the playground. So why do you think the author chose this setting? Think about what you just read. Why did the author choose this setting? Well, maybe the author chose this setting so that Clark and the new friend can play rough without hurting other kids. So what might have happened if this part of the story were set in another area of the school? What if this part of the story took place inside of the school? Do you think they would be able to play rough? Probably not. Or if they did this inside the lunchroom, do you think they could have played there? No, they would have frightened other classmates and made the teacher angry. So the playground is the perfect place for them to play rough at. So that is how you find the setting in a story. So use this video to help you find the setting and answer the questions.